Man, we talking practice? Let's get into it. Man, we've all played sports. Well, most of us have, right? In practice, when you're running them plays and it's just the starting five out there or the starting 11 or whatever, it's easy. The plays are executed flawlessly because there's no defense. And this is what I've come to find out on this Georgia Railroad, that these people hide it in plain sight. They are actually practicing law, but they practicing it on your ass. Meet Ashley Cooper of Cooper, Barton, and Cooper Law Firm out of Macon, Georgia. Now, I don't know Ashley. I don't have anything personally against Ashley. But according to the docket, Ashley is actually just practicing law. Now, this is the attorneys on this case. Ms. Ashley Cooper came up in a case that submitted to me. There's a familiar name right here. We all know him, John Bradley. As a whole nother segment. But this just showed just a case involving aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. It also had a theft by receiving charge on it as well. But we're going to get into it. We're going to show you exactly how these people just practice law. You know, I mean, this is a appointed attorney, a retained attorney as far as Ashley Cooper. John Bradley works for the public defender's office. So Ms. Ashley Cooper has resources, and that matters. Now, this is the actual docket. If you guys can see it, maybe you can squeeze in. You see the actual stuff on the docket entry of appearance comes in right here. This is exactly where Ms. Ashley Cooper comes into play. And we're going to go into the document as far as why this shows exactly that she's just practicing law. And if you look through it, there is no speedy trial demand. There is no suppression of evidence demand. There's no challenge of the warrant. There's no bond appeal. There's no dismissal motion. There's no evidentiary hearing. There's no chain of custody motion, right? So yeah, she worked, but she filed a notice of appearance. She filed a motion to set bond. She had a discovery request, but only standard. She didn't dive deep. And the key thing, what's crazy about it, and I'm seeing it a lot, these public defenders and even these retained defenders, they immediately after notice of appearance, they put in what they call a leave of absence. Here, I'm finna show it to you. Now, immediately after she put in her notice of appearance, she put in a leave of absence. Before she filed any motion for speedy trial, any other type of motion of discovery, she filed a leave of absence. And she notes that, hey, I'm gonna be out of work pretty much the rest of the year. And all of these are what? Family vacations, sometimes 2 and 3 times a month. And I'm telling you, this is a tactic used in multiple dockets I've looked at thus far. If your attorney puts in and then a lot of times you don't know because you're not checking the docket. But they put a notice of appearance and then they immediately put a leave of absence. Why do you think that is important? Because that clears the state from the burden of speedy trial. And then the fact that they never even filed it anyway, right? So they go ahead and put that, and I'm talking about it's strategically put in there. Why would you take a case and then automatically put in a leave of absence? Why would you do that? They're practicing, people. This is a part of their playbook. Just like the pick and roll, they do the same thing every single time. Not just the public defenders and John Bradley, but as you can see, as in Ashley Cooper, a retained paid lawyer, does the same old tactics. Because at the end of the day, they all work for the state bar of Georgia. Then throughout this docket, they have calendar calls. This defendant already had pled not guilty, right? He had already pled not guilty. So what they do is they act like they're doing something. They bring you to court, sit you there, do nothing, take you back to jail. They did this about 3 or 4 times on this particular defendant. And this is strategic. This is all a mental play. This docket, according to the docket, the way it's set up, this docket was set up for a plea. It was not set up for a trial. Now here in this particular case, with Ashley Cooper as the lawyer, this defendant pleaded not guilty on November the 19th, 2025. He said, all right, I'm not guilty, let's go to trial, right? This is actual from the docket, right? All right, now before they go on to go to trial, they dismiss one of the charges due to insufficient evidence. This is the theft by receiving stolen property. that they dismiss. They null process. Now, this is customary when they're setting it up for a plea. Okay, we're going to strip away some stuff. And we've seen it time and time before on the Georgia Railroad. They like to start with a whole pancake and then break it all the way back down to water at the end and whoop you with a plea on everything they already dropping against you. All right? So keep in mind, this guy's been locked up since I want to say July. From July till he's locked up about 3-4 months. And that county jail lockup, it's no joke, right? And this is all a part of the playbook. It's all a part of the playbook. But they dropped this charge due to insufficient evidence. Looks like this was October 2025, a month before he pleaded not guilty. Now, in a matter of 2 months, now he comes out, he wants to plead guilty. Right? Now he wants to plead guilty. 2 months of county jail lockup will make you want to do that. But it's this the thing what they do when they make you plea. And this is why it's important to understand that pleas you cannot appeal, right? And pleas oftentimes don't make them show discovery. So oftentimes you're pleading out to something you don't even know what type of evidence they have against you. And one, because his lawyer did not ask for a real discovery, right? Even when he wanted to go to trial. This thing was set up. And look at everything. Yes, I understand. I did all this stuff, and you think about it. If he don't sign this stuff or he don't check off, even if it's true or not, if he don't sign this, does he still get in? Does he get out of jail? Does he get a get out of jail free card if he doesn't sign it? This is not. It's not like this is optional. This is not optional. You either sign this or you go to trial, and all they're doing is telling him what to do. Now mind you, this guy's a first offender. He's never gotten in any trouble, right? He even got granted bond, right? And even in the bond order, it said he wasn't a threat. Low threat, right? First offender, 18 years old. Now, I'm not here to plead guilt or innocence, but I'm just saying, based on what the docket says, the guy wasn't seen to be a real threat. And until I haven't seen any evidence of the aggravated assault. No witnesses, no nothing, right? And they're dropping charges left and right. So if you're dropping these charges, why is this young man still in jail? Why is this man being charged? Why is he pleading guilty to aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony? 2 months after he pled not guilty. And I'm telling you, in that county jail lockup, it's a 24-hour lockdown. There's no outside. You got a TV about the size of your phones, about 15 feet up in the air with about 2 channels. And everything is sky high. You can't call. You can't. It's no visitation. Everything is on computer now. So, man, it's dreadful in there. People are begging to go to prison from in there, right? But check this out. I got more. All right, and here's the actual plea. As you can see right here, the aggravated assault, he pleads guilty, 20 years, right? $2,000 fine, right? Then he has possession of a firearm, null process. So they started with 3 charges, scripted all the way down to 1, and gave him 20 years. So what would he have got if he got convicted of all 3? 60? Like on his first charge, you can see right here on the side, he's a first offender, right? And this is the thing they do. This guy got a 20-year sentence on a first offender charge for aggravated assault, but they dropped everything else. Okay, so if they dropped the gun charge, then how did you charge him with aggravated assault? Because it's easier to prove aggravated assault than it is to prove possession of a gun. Because with a gun, you got to have chain of custody, you got to have fingerprints, you got to have dash cams, you got to have this, all this comes into play, right? But aggravated assault, all they got to have is someone say they threatened, they feel like their life was threatened, right? They don't necessarily have to have the gun, right? And they know this. But a true lawyer would say, if you're going to drop the gun, hey, man, if you're dropping the gun, then why am I charged with aggravated assault? And this man took 20 years. He's 18, first offender. And he on intense probation, meaning he has a curfew. He fought wrong. He finna go to prison. And unfortunately, I told his mother, I said, ma'am, y'all should have just left him in there. Because I guarantee you, if he's hanging around in Milledgeville, it's just a matter of time. And it's sad. It's a sad truth. But this is the type of stuff you got to be aware of. This man took 20 years for a plea that they dropped over 2/3 of the charges. Is that not weak? And his lawyer is filing frivolous claims and frivolous motions that don't even make no sense. Y'all stay with me, man. The Georgia Railroad is real, man, for real. New media. Be great today. Peace.